What's your true scary pizza delivery story? On a lazy Friday night when I had the house to myself, I was chilling in the living room with the lights off, watching movie after movie. It was past like 10, and I had a craving for pizza, so I ordered a pie from the local late-night pizza place. It was a rainy night, part of the reason why I chose to just stay in and watch movies. Ironically, I was watching some scary movie at the moment, and at some point during that, I heard loud steps coming up the front stoop outside. I waited for a knock or the doorbell. When I didn't hear either, I muted the TV out of curiosity, and then went to the front door and quietly lifted the slider above the peephole to look out at who could be on the porch. I was expecting to see the pizza guy, but at first, all I thought I saw was black. It took me a few moments to realize I was looking back at someone's eye pressed up on the other side of the peephole. I basically leaped back from being startled. I called through the door, asking if it was the pizza guy. A deep man's voice called back, "Yes, it is," but something wasn't right. I looked through the peephole again, and now it seemed like the man on the other side was covering it with his hand or something. I didn't know what to do other than yell, "Why are you covering the peephole?" He didn't respond to that. Instead, he just knocked on the door. I yelled at him to please leave and walked away from the door, back to the living room. A few moments later, the doorbell rang. I heard the same deep voice yell, "Pizza! Open up!" Once again, I got up and went to check through the peephole, but he was still covering it. I shouted at him again to please leave or I'd be calling the police now. I turned off the TV to allow for total darkness in the house. All I could hear for a while was the sound of the pouring rain outside. I went back to the front door to look through the peephole once again. Now I was able to see through it. The man was no longer on the stoop. I called the pizza place and asked the guy who picked up the phone if he could check if the delivery driver had arrived at my house yet. I of course explained what was going on and why I was asking for that. He said he'd give the driver a call and then call me back, so I hung up and waited. Like 2 minutes later, the guy called me back to tell me that the driver had not yet arrived at my house, and he suggested that I call the police. He also said the driver would call me when he arrives. I thanked him and hung up the phone. Next thing I remember is hearing knocks from the backyard door. I felt like this couldn't be happening. I actually felt sick. I crept to the back door, which has a pull-down blind that covers the glass for privacy and was currently pulled down. This next part I still don't understand. Even though I crept quietly to the back door as soon as I got there, that same familiar voice said, "I see you there. Open the door." Then he tried opening it himself, but thank God it was locked. Once again, I yelled, "I'm calling the cops if you don't leave." By luck of good timing, my phone began to ring, and it was the real pizza guy calling to say he was here. I told him to please come to the front door quickly. I opened the front door for him and let him in. He asked if I needed help and I begged him to stay with me until the police showed up. And he did me that favor. Police showed up within 10 minutes. Having someone there waiting with me made me feel a lot better. There weren't any other disturbances from that man outside from the time the pizza guy got there to the time the police left. After that, I went straight to sleep. I even went so far as to push my dresser in front of my door, just as a desperate act of feeling safe. Thank God that man left for good.